Good morning, everyone. In last class, we discussed about peasant revolts, especially Indigo and Pabna revolts. And also in Unit 8, we discussed about the Deccan Rights Revolt, Mopla revolts, Tebaga revolts, Varli revolts, Punnaprahar revolts, Telangana peasant struggle. But today, you will learn about the Kisan Sabha. That's the Unit 9. Today topic is All India Kisan Sabha. Before going to the topic, you should discuss about the conditions of the peasantry in British India before formation of All India Kisan Sabha. This is the first point. What kind of conditions were there? Britishers, what kind of conditions peasants had before formation of All India Kisan Sabha in India? The general condition of Indian peasantry was very poor, especially the conditions of peasants of Bengal, Bihar, Bombay, Madras. They have not improved even after the entry of Mahatma Gandhi into Indian freedom movement. They did not improve their conditions. Already in last classes, we discussed about the British oppressive policies. Due to these oppressive policies, peasants faced so many problems against the Jamindars and Britishers. When after the entry of the Mahatma Gandhi into Indian freedom movement, they had not improved their conditions. Even though Mahatma Gandhi had achieved success and Champaran and Bardoli, but they were forced to cultivate commercial crops such as cotton, jute, tobacco, indigo, tea, etc., in order to feed the British factories. Mahatma Gandhi got victory during the time of the Champaran and Bardoli Satyagraha, but peasants did not get. They don't have improvement. Basically, they cultivate traditional crops, but when the Britishers forced to cultivate commercial crops, from that time onwards, they cultivated commercial crops. In addition to poor peasants were suffered by the famines and droughts. At that time, so many famines occurred in India. The British Parliament passed the Government of India Act in 1935, but this act was also failed to provide security to the Indian peasants and agricultural labor. All the peasants were waited for that act. After that passed that act, that Government of India Act, but this act didn't give any support, any security to the peasants and agricultural labor. Peasants were exploited by the middlemen, contractors, jamindars, mahaldars, patadars. When British introduced mission-made goods in India, all traditional workers became unemployed. This led to the extra pressure on land under cultivation and without additional production. It forced the poor peasants to borrow loans from money lenders in rural area. When they lost their jobs, they borrowed from that time onwards. They borrowed money from money lenders. It led to rural indebtedness. Under these conditions, the communists and socialists gave support to poor peasants and laborers. When peasants and laborers suffered a lot, after that they depend on agriculture. But agriculture also did not give support to them. Under these conditions, these communists, socialists gave support to poor peasants and laborers. Indian National Congress met at Lucknow in April 1936 to give support for peasants and laborers. After that, the Congress leaders decided to start a new organization to work for the cause of peasants in India. As a result, Sri Sahajananda Saraswati, the founder of Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha, came forward to lead the new organization. Who established Provincial Kisan Sabha? That Sahajananda Saraswati only established this Sabha. Why he established this Sabha? For peasants, to solve peasant problems. He was the founder of the Provincial Kisan Sabha. He was the founder of the Provincial Kisan Sabha. He founded Provincial Kisan Sabha to counter the oppressive attitude of Bihar Jamindars and to establish the rights of poor peasants on their land. When he established Provincial Kisan Sabha, from that time onwards, he focused his mind on peasants. At that time, peasants suffered a lot from Jamindars. He also fought against Jamindars and gave support to peasants. He also announced the abolition of Jamindar system in Bihar, Bengal, under the influence of the main aim of Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha. And next, formation of All India Kisan Sabha. Here you learn some things about that Kisan Sabha, who formed that Kisan Sabha, when it formed, where it formed. This kind of answers you will learn here. Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha was started by Sahajananda Saraswati to solve the peasants' problems. He was started this Sabha in 1929 to mobilize peasants against Jamindars' attacks on their occupancy rights. When he was started this Provincial Kisan Sabha, he was started in 1929. Who was started this Kisan Sabha? Sahajananda Saraswati only started this Kisan Sabha. Why he was started this Kisan Sabha? To mobilize peasants against the Jamindari attacks on their occupants' rights. Gradually, these peasants' movement spread across the rest of India. At that time, the Congress Socialist Party was established in 1934. When Congress Socialist Party established, the Congress Socialist Party was established in 1934. N.G. Ranga, M.S. Namboodiripad were the important leaders from Socialist Party. These both are important leaders and played important part in Socialist Party. Under the presidency of the Sahajananda Saraswati, All India Kisan Sabha started on 11th April 1936. The All India Sabha, when was established this All India Kisan Sabha? This All India Kisan Sabha was established on 11th April 1936 under the presidency of Sahajananda Saraswati. The primary objective of All India Kisan Sabha, they have that objectives, All India Kisan Sabha objectives are abolition of Jamindari system in Bihar and Bengal. First point. Establishing the right of peasants on the land which they are cultivating. First one, abolishing of Jamindar system. And second one, establishing the right of peasants on the land which they are cultivating. Third one, working for improving the status of peasants and agriculture. And fourth one, abolition of labor debts. Next one, the role of Sahajananda Saraswati in Socialist Party. Okay? Sahajananda Saraswati, an ascetic, a nationalist, and a peasant leader. He was not only ascetic, but also nationalist and peasant leader. He was contemporary of eminent Congress leaders like Gokhale, Tilak, Gandhi, Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, and N.G. Ranga. He was born on February 22nd, 1889 in a village. That village name is Devdatpur, Ganapur, which was located in Uttar Pradesh. Where he was born? He was born in Devdatpur. This Devdatpur was located in Uttar Pradesh. So he came from Uttar Pradesh. He born in Brahmin family. His father, Benny Rai, was a cultivator. His father was a cultivator. After completed his studies, he was influenced. He was influenced more by Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence satyagraha and joined with Gandhi. He was worked with Gandhi from 1920 to 1934. After completed his studies and attracted Gandhi, and he was joined with Gandhi. From that time onwards, nearly from 1920 to 1934, he worked with Gandhi. After 1934, due to some reasons, he came out from Gandhi. After that, he worked for the peasants under his own Sabha. He gave various slogans for the welfare of the peasants. In a very short span of time, All India Kisan Sabha became very active in Uttar Pradesh, Bengal, and Orissa. That All India Kisan Sabha did not concentrate in Bihar and Bengal. That concentrated in various places in India. In 1936, its members 8,000. It had increased 2,50,000 by the year 1938. There were many important leaders in All India Kisan Sabha, namely, not only Sahajananda Saraswati, but also so many leaders played an important role in All India Kisan Sabha. Those are N.G. Ranga, he came from Andhra. Namboodiripad, he came from Kerala. Pandit Karyananda Sharma, Pandit Yamuna Karji, Pochalapalli Chandrayya, Ram Manohar Lohia, Jaiprakash Narayan, Acharya Narendra Dev, and Bankim Mukherjee. Red flag, they declared red flag was declared as its official banner by its first president, Sahajananda, and his followers. Sahajananda organized the anti-compromise conference with Subhash Chandra Bose against the British and Congress. During the period of Second World War, he extended his support to Communist Party of India, which was in favor of Russia. When was occurred that Second World War? The Second World War was occurred from 1939 to 1945. During that time, he was supported to Communist Party. Sahajananda was not only a great organizer, but was an excellent writer in Hindi. His permanent works are Bhumihar, Brahmin Farsi, Kisan Sabha Ki, Samsmaran, Kisanok, Dev and Jang, our Rashtriya Azad. These are important works he wrote in Hindi. Most of the followers of Sahajananda dedicated their whole life for the cause of peasants and to solve their issues. Many peasant rallies and peasant marches were organized by N.G. Ranga in central Andhra districts. He was organized so many rallies and in central Andhra. Who was organized? N.G. Ranga organized so many rallies. He conducted so many rallies. These rallies conducted from 1939 to 1934. The Eluru Jamindari Rights Conference held in 1933, which was demanded the abolition of Jamindari system. In this conference, they decided to abolish the Jamindari system. He earned the name of Raitu Pitamaha. He got that Raitu Pitamaha name. Pochalapalli Sundarayya and Ravi Narayan Reddy also played significant and important role in the Telangana peasants' armed struggle. Awards and institutions were founded by Government of India after 1947 in memory of these great peasant leaders. Next one is the attitude of Congress towards All India Kisan Sabha. After the formation of the Kisan Sabha, by Sahajananda, he got more support from his followers. Not only followers, from peasants and agricultural laborers. He got more support from peasants and agricultural laborers also. Bengal, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Patna, Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. Peasants took membership in his peasant organization. After 1936, there were developed conflict between Congress leaders and Kisan Sabha. The Congress leaders, under the guidance of Gandhi, Nehru, Patel, gave support to British during the period of Second World War. The defeat of Gandhi supported candidate Pattabhi Sitaramaiah in Haripura session in 1938 in hands of Subhash Chandra Bose, totally broken the relations between Congress and All India Kisan Sabha. Sahajananda was died in June 1950. After that, the Kisan Sabha divided into two groups. One group under the leadership of Ajay Balan attached to the Communist Party of India, and other group attached to the Communist Party of Marxist. The 1938 TNC legislation was rejected by Kisan Sabha. Uttar Pradesh peasant leaders like Narendra Dev, Mohanlal Gautam mobilized large groups of peasants against Congress attitude. Orissa peasants also started revolt against Congress government's pro-landlord policies. A anti-government rally was held on 1st September 1938. The All India Kisan Sabha activists, the All India Kisan Sabha's activities, movements, rallies, literatures also spread to princely states, especially Hyderabad state. In Hyderabad state, the oppressed peasants under the leadership of communists started struggle against the Nizam oppressed policies. Here, peasants armed struggle was started against Nizam's supporters, namely Doras, Deshpandes, Deshmukhas, Patels, Patwaris, Watandars, and also Rajakars. Pusalapalli Sundaraya and Ravi Narayan Reddy were played an important role in this movement. Thus, All India Kisan Sabha had made Congress isolated from peasantry. In 1938, the All India Kisan Sabha achieved another victory. The victory of Subhash Chandra Bose at the Haripura Congress meeting further weakened the Congress. After that, the communists became close to the Kisan Sabha. When the Quit India movement continued between 1942 1944, the Congress, the Kisan Sabha, and the communists distanced themselves from the movement. In Bengal, the Kisan Sabha followed a communist-style revolution. N.G. Ranga Indulal Yaganiki Saraswati left the Congress and came out. Both came from Congress. They left the Congress party. They opposed the pro-British, anti-Japan, anti-German policy pursued by the Congress in the war. This is the 9th unit. And what is that title name? All India Kisan Sabha. This was completed. This All India Kisan Sabha was completed. And next, this third block is over. Next, fourth block. What is the title of the fourth block? Left revolutionary and working class movements. Left revolutionary and working class movements. This block consists of 3 units. This block consists of 3 units. One is Unit 10, Rise of Left Wing, Communist Party and Congress Socialist Party. Unit 11, Working Class Movements and Role of Trade Unions. Unit 12, Revolutionary Movements of India. These 3 units covered in this block. Now we will discuss about the Unit 10. Rise of, what is the title of the Unit 10? The Rise of Left Wing, Communist Party and Congress Socialist Party. First point, the rise of left wing, which was started in 1920 to 1929. Indian revolutionaries were inspired by Bolshevik revolution of Soviet Russia in 1917. Indian revolutionaries, whoever were living in America, maintained relations with Bolshevik and asked their help for liberation of India. Bolshevik revolution had given more strength to the leftist groups. From that time onwards, leftist groups were played an active role in India's freedom struggle. Leftist groups were inspired by Lenin's theory of 1920. when they got inspiration from Lenin, from that time onwards, they played important role in national movement. They believed political power must be transferred to people, especially workers and peasants. Due to this, they struggled with the support of peasants and workers for freedom against British. But the British government was afraid of the leftist groups because of fear about the leftist groups. The British suffered them by adapting repressive methods. Communalism and its growth in India. Next point. Balagangadhar Tilak was maintained good relations with Lenin during the national movement. Some of the young leaders were influenced by Russia revolution. They left India, learned the art of making explosives and bombs from Russia, and they supported peasants and trade unions. Influence of British. Indian communists were supported by British communists in many ways. The British communists also were supported to Indian communists. R.P. Dutt, Alishan, Sport, Tupi Hinson, and Bradley played an active role to give moral support to Indian communists. They played a key role in establishing workers and peasants party in two major industrial cities like Calcutta and Bombay in 1927. The formation of Indian Communist Party. You learn here some important points. Who formed that Indian Communist Party, and when they formed that Indian Communist Party, why they formed the Indian Communist Party. These kinds of things you will learn here. During the 1905, several reasons supported for the growth of revolutionary movements in India, such as the failure of anti-partition movement in Bengal, industrial revolutionary violence, extra. The revolutionary organizations, namely Yugantar, And Anusilana Samiti strongly believed revolutionary methods and opposing the Britishers. During at that time, number of revolutionary organizations were established. From those, Yugandhar and Anusilana Samiti were important organizations. Yugandhar published in 1906 a very inspirational message to the nation. In 1906, that Yugandhar gave very good message, very inspirational message to the nation. What is that message? Here he wrote, the 30 crores of people inhabiting India must raise their 60 crores of hands to stop British curse of oppression. This is very, very important point. When they saw this message, all the people, not only peasants but also agricultural laborers, all the people appreciated. Force must be stopped by force. Nevertheless, this movement has given impetus to the national movement. All these revolutionary activities can be divided into three pages before 1937. Before 1937, these revolutionary activities divided into three pages. Many revolutionaries came in contact with one another in 1938 as they were released from the British. Indian National Army was formed by Subhash Chandra Bose. Who was formed that Indian National Army? Subhash Chandra Bose was only formed the Indian National Army. He himself as the commander and chief. He formed a provincial government of Free India, but he carried his activities from outside the India. M.N. Rai, the revolutionary leader, founded the Indian Communist Party in 1920 at Tashkent Military School in Soviet Russia. This is also a very, very important point. Who was the founder of the Indian Communist Party? M.N. Rai was the founder of the Indian Communist Party. Where he was established this Communist Party? He established Indian Communist Party at Tashkent Military School in Soviet Russia in 1920. When he was established in 1920, he was established Indian Communist Party at Tashkent Military School in Soviet Russia. He also founded the Communist Party of Mexico, which was the first communist party outside the Soviet Russia. So that M.N. Rai was the founder of the Communist Party, Indian Communist Party. Apart from M.N. Rai, Muzaffar Ahmad, S.A. Dangi, S. Usmani, and Nalini Gupta were played important role to spread communist ideas. Where he was established that Communist Party, Indian Communist Party. He was established the Indian Communist Party in 1920 at Tashkent Military School in Soviet Russia. Okay. Why was established this Communist Party? In coming chapters, we will discuss about this point. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. We will meet again in next class. In last class, one student asked about the Gadkari's revolt. But that revolt was when it was happened. That revolt 1944 to 1945. Only 4 minutes are there. In 4 minutes, we will not finish that point. In next class, we will discuss about this point also. Okay. Here only in the chapter you covered many points, various points, and next class you will finish. You will finish your remaining points, and we'll start unit 11. Okay, working class movements and the role of trade unions in next class. And after that, that 12th unit also we'll cover in next class. If you complete these units, you will finish fourth block. Well, you have only fifth block only you have. After that, we will discuss that fifth block also. And that you have only fifth, 1 to fifth block. So fifth, 5 blocks, you have only 5 blocks. If you finish this unit 11 and unit 12, we have only fifth block only you have. Next class, we will finish fifth block.